Is June 20th, and the Yankees have won a series against the Oakland Athletics. They were losing, and then they won the games. Jake's here, I'm here, BBD's here, and we're going to talk about the Yankees. I promise you we will.
Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for tuning in, hanging out with us for a little bit. It's brought to you by DraftKings and also Ryan Eden, Corey Clark, Chandler, Paige Brooks, Joe Burden, Julia Santiago, Mitchell Rose, and Nick De Antuono. I have no idea what that last name is. You don't have it, do you? It's Antuono. Antuono. Did you say Antonio?
Antonio.
Okay. Hey, Jake, how are you?
James, Big Baby David, those names were our Patreons. Go sign up for our Patreon. We were doing an all-star break event, and we sold out of tickets really quick, and Patreon had first dibs on it, and we're going to be doing more events because the world's opening up. I'm doing well, Jim. We just had a bit of a car ride from the Jersey Shore. We had a nice weekend with your family, your mother, your brother-in-law, your cousins, your sisters, your friends, all those people that showed up. We had a nice time. The Yankees, the come-from-behind Yankees, guys. Last 5 wins, the Yankees have come from behind.
Where are those
win
Yankees
them.
coming from?
Behind us.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, man. It's exciting. The A's are a good team. Still not the prettiest brand of baseball, but there's some good stuff going on. I mean, holy Gary Sanchez. We'll talk about that a little bit, but I'm doing well. We tied one on last night a little bit. Showed, congrats to formerly intern Luke on graduating college. So I had to put all his drinking buddies under the table. Literally, they're still there.
Yeah, Jake was pretty mean. He's knocking guys out with beer bottles and stuff.
No.
This is how we used to party. Stabbing guys. It's messed up. No, yeah, we just how was that car ride that we were just in?
3 hours.
3-hour car ride. We got to the bridge, BBD, as the 9th inning was happening, and I'm like, hell yeah, like this is gonna be perfect timing. And then the sign came up and it was like, it's gonna take an hour to cross the bridge. We're like, fudge. We didn't get any fudge. So that was a bummer. But we're here now, and we're going to talk about the Yankees.
BBD was waiting for us patiently. We appreciate him, and we think he's a beauty. BBD, I want to be the first to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day to every other father out there. That's a good father.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wishing it on the bad ones.
My pops, James. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Jake's dad.
Doc Mendy.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. This
Yeah.
morning, my brother and I sent him text saying happy birthday because that's the joke we do.
It's classic. That's
but
all the time.
But the podcast listeners aren't in on that joke.
Well, they're in now.
Now
We
you
sang
are.
happy birthday to my brother, even though it was his graduation party. So, and then my grandma got real confused. And then people thought she was crazy. And it's like, well, I think she's allowed to be confused by that, you know? So what happened was the Yankees won the last 2 games of the series.
Yes.
To beat the A's in the series. And there's aspects that are really good baseball.
Yes.
But there's also aspects that aren't great baseball.
Yes.
There's aspects that I don't understand some of the decisions that were made.
Right.
And then there's, okay, but they kind of worked.
Yeah.
So we'll get into all of that after the burns and then in the awards and stuff. But they just sent Gittens down. So groundskeeping here. Gittens gets sent down because Voit's going to be back for Tuesday. That's pretty exciting. Jake and I were doing a lot of math, obviously,
That's what we're good at.
about the roster and the and the lineups for the Boston series after the Royals, so maybe we'll end the show there if we remember.
Yeah.
But Voigt's coming back. They got the pitching lined up, man. Any other things? Sevy was running in the outfield.
Yeah, that was an exciting thing. I mean, after the Fear Fest that was Sevy a week before that, we got the video of him just. He's coming off the mound. He's grabbing he's a horrible leg injury to have him run in the outfield. The Yankee fans felt that a little bit. We'll still see if and when that means something. What else? Voiter will be here Tuesday.
Well, Sevy, I believe it was today and not yesterday, had a catch with Corey Kluber on the field.
Right.
That was getting tweets.
Those are our.
That's a good visual.
Those are our trade deadline pitchers. Oh my God, Sevy and Klubot just chopping it up.
Have they met? I guess now they have.
They're throwing partners.
Well, they were probably at least like 20 feet away,
Yeah.
so maybe they didn't get to talk.
So, cutter, slider. Kluber just goes.
That was clue ball.
Cutter, clue ball,
I'd rather not name the pitches, Luis.
and that was the end of the.
He called him Luis for sure. Or they're calling each other Luis and Corey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a catch with Corey the other day. Who?
What?
Yeah, me and Luis were throwing. Who?
Sessa?
Heel?
No.
Voit? He's Luis. People forget that.
Luis.
Luis Linwood Voit.
Luis.
Man, you want to get into Burns? Did you write Burns? We were in the car the whole time. What's your strategy here?
You know, I didn't have what I like to write my Burns on, aka Gmail.
Yeah. Well, you have Gmail on your
laptop.
phone.
I was continuing a sentence. So I was coming up with concepts for Burns.
Okay.
So there will be some chops, but we'll get through it.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's burn
Yeah.
Game 1. It's brought to you by Cushy Dreams. We're hanging out with them at Game 1. Wow. Symmetry.
Yeah. Nice guys.
They were nice guys. And what Cushy Dreams does is they make high-quality smokable CBD.
Mm-hmm.
CBD helps with anxiety, depression, inflammation, pain relief, and more. And smoking CBD gets it into your system right away so you don't have to wait around for the effects. I told Jake, our ad coming up later in the show, plus this ad, is going to be me when I finally get home tonight because I am going to be tired. I drank more than I've drank in the last 5 years combined last night. 3 years combined.
You went to a wedding.
I didn't really drink at the wedding.
You drank a little bit with the boys. You cut your hand open.
Sober on the slide. The hand is healing today because I got some ocean time, which I'm really excited about. And it'll heal even more when I smoke my Cushy Dreams.
Yes.
And you can smoke yours if you go to cushydreams.com, Kushy, and use code YANKS for 20% off your next order. Cushy Dreams contains under 0.3% THC, so it's legal. It's organic. They got fresh harvest. They got pre-roll joints and nugs. Smoke your CBD with promo code YANKS for 20% off today.
Cushy Dreams.
The program that I used to do the sound wanted me to update it, but I don't want to update it. I'm just going to play the sounds. And here you go. That was quiet.
Oh, quiet. You want me to?
I got it. Burn, Jake.
Okay, a little
Go ahead.
loud.
Do it. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it.
Yankees are hosting the A's for 3 in the boogie down Bronx. And no cap, James Caprillion, former Yankees farmhand, taking the bump for the Oakland Athletics as the Yankees would pull out a shot at J-Mo Tyone, hoping to right the ship. And the Yankees need him, but instead of some Jameson, how about a little Molson Coors? Matt Olson, he goes yard job in the third. Can he? 2-0 Oakland. But in the third, DJ 26 with another hit. A home run from DJ. Will he? Can he? Will he? Is it time? I hope so. We're tied at 2s, and what's that smell? Rugi Ruai. Oh no. Watch that homer go. Ooh. Yeah. Yanks are up 3-2. The comeback. Yanks, baby. We're doing it. Oh no. One of my fellow short kings and Vandy Men. Wow, basically similar guys. Tony, Hemp, Kemp, Cushy Dreams. He hits a 3-run yacker. That makes it 5-3. Tyone, 4.2, 2 earned runs. Second inning, Wandy, yeah, Litke to Sessa. Yanks lose game 1, 5-3 final.
Good burn. Really good burn.
Thanks, man.
Really good stuff. So what concept did you have for that one?
No cap for James Cap.
Okay. Good concept.
Jameson
Yeah.
to Molson, Matt Olson, Molson Coors.
Yes.
Canny Canna, that's lazy. Odor, I mean, it's just unlimited possibilities.
What was the
He's
song?
such a personality. What is it, Louis?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have that concept written down?
I did not.
So that was an improv.
I mean, Rugi is basically like a get-out-of-jail-free card
I
for me.
thought that might have been improv.
I can go smell jokes. I can go songs. I can go mound checks. I can go, the heart of the team.
A lot of people thought you were going to go Aardvarks there.
Averex.
My bad.
Might have, 42 is banned from the JJR. Guesses we might have to pull Averex. It's getting too high in the streets. It's becoming an American word.
Yeah, we are. We're taking it. We're bringing it to America. Jake, can I tell you something? We were at this game.
Yes, yeesh.
And it was the first, reopening day, but the Yankees didn't really, market it good, so it wasn't a lot of people there besides the bleachers. But it felt cool. Everyone had, a buzz about them, especially the reporters and Michael K. They got to go on the field.
Susan's video
getting through security. All that stuff was good. And then, we were in the suite with a bunch of people that listened to the show, and they found out about the suites through our ad on the show, which was really cool to meet people. In the game, even though they lost, there were moments where, out of all the games we've been to this year, it didn't feel like that. Where, 2 strikes, big claps, everyone standing, normal stadium energy for the first time.
The people that were there were excited for opening day 2.0.
Yeah.
Ready to get loud, ready to enjoy it, ready to get the Yankee season going and on track. And yeah, I mean, it's funny looking at this box score in hindsight. I mean, LeMahieu, we'll be talking about him a lot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So he hits the home run, and Willie Canny Hopi, we'll see, and then Rugi, and that's obvious. Tyone survives the start. It's classic 4.2 and 2. Looks a lot worse than 5.0 and 2, but at least he survived. I mean, this was his first start after the disaster, right? After the Phillies game.
I believe so, yeah.
So for him to come out and at least do this was needed. And yeah, I mean, Jim, you kind of were on it when we were at the game. Wandy P comes in to relieve Tyone, and then he comes out for his second inning of work, and he gets in a little bit of trouble. When we had a lot of bullpen options, or at least we thought we've had a lot of bullpen options, because we found out kind of more after today's game. But yeah, I mean, pretty brutal. I
just don't think you should lose games in second inning Wandy.
Right.
When you have other options.
And it's tough. I mean, man.
But the offense is really to blame here.
But he gets the first 2 outs in that inning, and then Matt Chapman singles, and then Murphy singles on the first pitch, too. So, yeah, I mean, and Tony Kemp is a lefty, so in theory you don't hate that matchup. But when you zoom out and you go to a concept, and it's like game 1 against the Oakland A's, kind of a big series. Who are guys out of the bullpen if we have the lead? We don't want to lose the game in the 6th inning or later. And Wandy's on that list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Goes up 0-2 on Kemp. Hey.
There are a couple moments, too, where they changed the pitcher for Stanton when there was runners on. They have Judge hit a single, and then he advances on the wild pitch. And then he advances again to third. So the A's take out Cap and they bring in Petite. And it's a whole big pitching change, and the stadium's excited, and then first pitch pop out, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And then the Gary pinch hit a couple innings later, the next inning. also with the runner on, and Gary comes up. They pinch it in for Higgy. Stadium had a lot of life to it, and then he pops out as well. So there's a lot of like just really quick moments that got inflated, then deflated right away.
Yeah, and Gary didn't start that game, and I mean, we'll talk about him a lot coming up as well. 3-hole Gary season, but yeah, I mean, kind of life and times of a catcher, man. They did play a long getaway day game against the Blue Jays where he got beat up, a couple foul balls off different body parts. Ooh, like that. So yeah, nature of the beast of being a catcher. Obviously, we want and kind of need him in there, especially after looking at today's box score and result. But yeah, tough cookies. BBD, you were at this game. Any thoughts?
I was at this game.
Okay. Do you know BBD's playing hurt?
Stiff neck. That's what you told me.
Yeah, I'd be DHing at best today.
Okay.
How'd you get your neck
Yeah.
so stiff?
I couldn't get comfortable last night, so I must have gotten into a bad position sleeping.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hurt because I slept wrong?
Well, and what always gets me is, like, you know, imagine if you are a pro athlete, which you might be one day, we'll see, and you show up to the office that day, and it's like, do you play?
You get rubbed
like,
out.
If it gets out to the people, they're like, oh, you know, Stan's not playing, he slept on his neck funny, we would tear him apart.
I think they
But you're also in
have
pain.
access to quicker fixes than
It just
I do.
sticks some needles in you, rub some lotions and potions, and you're good to go.
I'm hoping it's just the sleep thing, but I also, similar to when you had your thing last year, I was leaning up against Zach pretty hard.
We were hanging out with the chiropractor today, and we could have asked for you.
Yeah.
But you didn't let us know.
We weren't all in the same place.
Yeah, but
so.
you could have let us know.
We didn't know.
You never know when your friends are hanging out with the chiropractor. If you just send a mass text out or tweet and say, anyone hanging out with the chiropractor, I got questions. I would tweet that out. So the Yankees go down 1-0 after sweeping the Blue Jays, and you're like, oh no, but it was kind of close, but there's good and bad. And then Odor hits the homer, which is Averex. If you guys forget, it's when something good has the opposite effect. Or something has the opposite effect than you think. Like Odor hitting a home run, you think that's good for the Yankees. But it's actually bad because that means he continues to play.
Yeah.
That's one more month, baby.
And watching him,
He's going to be here.
he's going to be on the team the whole season. And watching him from not on TV, my theory about him just getting involved to a point of too much involvement is so true.
The just letting the Andujar throw go by is one of the wilder things.
Andujar threw the ball into him, like in between innings, and he just crossed his arms and let it bounce past him just because he just needs to be there.
A prank you'd kind of do on, like, your little brother or something. Like, throw the ball to me. Oh, I'm not catching it.
He's just always doing
All-timer.
something.
I'll say this. I'm kind of holding out on Averex amongst our society. I'm hoping there's a world where Rugi Odor is playing 1.5 times a week, and I enjoy that. It's like, oh, Rugi Day. Okay, let's see if he hits a homer. So I still have some fingers crossed for that.
And that's fair.
Thank you.
And that hopefully should be happening.
Yeah.
This should be the end of Rugi getting...
Because Luke Voit did a rehab assignment where you build up your body to be ready to play baseball games. So
he should be ready to play baseball games and not just play one game and then sit one game and then one game and then sit one game. But, you know...
We'll touch upon that again at the end because Jimmy and I mapped out some things on the car ride because we got a Red Sox series coming up after the Royals. So we got some plans. We got stuff, man.
Someone in the chat asked why we don't like Odor. They said we don't get it. Go look at his stats.
Yeah, I mean, Odor's numbers are pretty bad.
Not just this year, but for
Past few.
5 years.
Past few.
Yeah, he's been a below-average hitter for the last 5 years.
I think he's been, when you factor in amount of playing time he's received, he's the worst player in baseball over a 5-year period.
Like when they do, like, this is the richest town per square mile or whatever, like, for someone that's played 400 games or 500 games in the last 1, 2, 3. I don't think anyone has played as many games as Rougned Odor since 2017 and been as bad as him in MLB.
Like if there was one of those charts that pop up on Twitter sometimes, and like the top right would be like, you know, least amount of games played and biggest results. It would be like Judge, Ohtani, Trout.
Yeah, because they get hurt, but when they do play, they're amazing.
And then there'd be like another part of the chart would be like a lot of games played, a lot of results, and it'd be like Jose Abreu, whoever else stays healthy and is good at baseball.
Yeah, and he's not on a long-term contract, so it's not like we let's stick it around because he might change. Like they could very easily just be like, no, we'll try something new, like they did with Bruce.
Bottom corner of the chart.
And they did with other people.
Most games played.
And they did with Ford.
Least results.
They did with everyone else that's come and gone.
Theodore.
But because he's cheap and not going to hit the tax, he's going to be here all year. Let's move on to game 2. On your mark, get set, and burn.
Ooh, Domingo on Sabato versus the A's and Chris Bassett. Let's hit some homers, mash them as the Yankees offense try to get back on track. But in the first, oh, mama, there goes that man again. Tony Kemp into the seats and right again. It's 1-0 A's. Scratch that. It's 2-0. How about Chapman? Might see some Chapman versus Chapman later in this one. Teaser. But how about Gio the God? Gio puts the Yankees on the board with the RBI single center. It's 2-1 into the 5th. Man, Matt Olson is handsome. Date my daughter. He hits the RBI single. It's 4-1 Yanks. Me and Jimmy are in the building. We say maybe we got to change up the juju. I say, Poppy, is he good at baseball? We leave, and the Yankees start going. Gary is scary. 3-hole Gary with the solo dong. Huge fortitude by Gary and the Yankees to make it 4-2. Rally in the 7th inning. The judge orders an RBI single. Big hit to bring home Frazier, as Booney started calling him. Giancarlo Stanton with the ribby single. The big guys do it in the 7th. We are locked up at 4s. You come running to my arms. It's okay, don't be alarmed. Urshela, Ella, Gio Dude rocks one. 424 feet, 5-4 Yanks. How about DJ LeMahieu with the Geico insurance run? 7-4 Yanks. And oh, it got a little scary in the 9th. A's push one across, but Chapman versus Chapman is how it ends. Yankees go Domingo, 4 innings, 4 earned, bleh. But Nestor Cortez Jr., hero watch, 3 innings shutty. Swag Green, best inning of his career to Chapman. Yankees win, 7-5 final.
Hey, everything Jake said is true.
Yes.
But I wasn't fully tuned in. But I believe you got everything right.
It's like 90% at least.
Domingo, we'll avoid individual stuff, Jake, because you never know what someone's going to want to talk about later. So if you could kindly avoid it.
Okay.
Any lineup, Boone decisions, big plays you want to talk about here?
Let's see. So this is game 2.
The Urshela double play because the bat splintered and he got wood in his eye. That was pretty scary.
That was wild, and that was, I mean, at that point of the game, Yanks are losing, and you're doing what? You're kind of having these emotions. Every emotion you felt during the triple play today, you felt the opposite of those during the Gio Urshela wood in the eye double play. You're like, oh, so this is how our season just goes. But, man, good for him. Huge homer later off of baby Jesus, Luzardo.
Dude, I think Luzardo for the A's, they moved him to the bullpen. I think he's given up a run in like every outing since they moved him to the bullpen.
Good. Baseball's a tough sport to be a young player. And we might talk about that with Gleyber Torres in a little bit.
Yeah, Luzardo out of the bullpen has a 9.9 ERA in 7 games. His first 2 were clean. Since then, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 3 earned runs out of the pen. Not in not long relief either. So yeah, Jesus Luzardo, who they had penciled in as a top tier starter, which he still could be. He's young, but
he's young. Baseball's a tough
pitching
sport
is
to
hard.
figure out. Yeah.
Pitching is hard.
So yeah, I mean the comeback Yanks rear their head. Mentioned 3-hole Gary. That should put a little lead in your pencil.
I liked that move.
And he hits the homer. And look at the whole top of the lineup here, man. I mean, well, actually, the whole lineup did a lot of stuff minus Odor and Gardy. So, yeah,
we got to see old friend Birch Smith, the Talkin Yanks fan favorite.
Yes.
He was looking clean.
He's turned it around for now.
Yeah, but the results,
But
you never...
When you have a darkness inside of you like that, you can't bury it forever. No. It'll come out.
Double.
At the worst time.
Clint doubled off of him. Clint had a good game.
Clint had a good game.
No individual stuff, Jake.
He earned the start for today's game, Jim. 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Let's go Yanks. DJ, the insurance hit late, was pretty nice and kind of needed after Chappie got into some goof juice, and then he ends it with his fastest pitch of the year. Feels individual at that point. Stanton, 2 for 2 and 2 walks. How about it, kid?
Doing a lot of individual stuff.
DJ got picked off.
Yeah, that was weird.
By Romo. Yeah, he got that really
huge. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And it was like you didn't want to be mad because we just put up 2 huge insurance runs on the board, but also Judge was up, and it's like that can be like the sit-down Chapman. Like if Judgy pokes one, it's a 9-4 game.
Maybe he knows we're good. We have a 3-run lead. We'll get Chapman.
He knew
in
Chapman was loose, so he's like, oh.
Yeah, but it was weird because he just took like a secondary lead, and Romo just was like, no.
Yeah.
I'll just throw it to you to first, and you're out. Let's go to Game 3, which was today's game, which we watched as we drove and we were stuck in traffic.
3.
On your mark. Get set, burn while eating nuts.
Holy smokes, we got a rubber match. Jordan, the full Monty Montgomery, tries to drop it against the Oakland A's, and admire my desire. Sean Manaea on the bump for Oakland. Couple southpaws at it on Father's Day Sunday. Love you, Dad. Matt Olson, you will be my daddy. Home run, 425 feet in the first, but guess what? That is all Jordan Montgomery would give up. The changeup working for Monty today. He finishes 5.1, 1 earned, 6 Ks. The Yankees, unfortunately, were getting mowed down by Sean Manaea. 11 Ks. Yankees need to get on the scoreboard. How's your opposite field double from Gary Sanchez? Crack me, Daddy. Happy Father's Day. 2-run RBI double puts the comeback Yanks ahead 2-1. Holy Litke season out of the bullpen. Johnny Laza does a great job too. And here comes Chapman. Oh no. Walks the first 2 hitters he sees. We're doing a mound visit. We're checking some nails. Ground ball to Urshela. Steps on third. Fires to second. Throws to first. Triple play Yankees. What do you say? I just may. Third triple play of the season. That matches the Yankees with so many teams that had 3 triple plays in a season. Yankees win the series 2-1, and Jim, they win this game 2-1. Let's go, Yanks.
Symmetry.
Gimme symmetry.
I'm still eating all the nuts I put in my mouth.
These nuts believe.
This was a good game and a bad game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had 3 hits.
3 hits. Got mowed down by Manaea.
Jake's weighing things in both of his hands, for those that are just listening.
Sometimes baseball games go like this. And, Monty found it. Monty was shoving. Manaea was shoving. So, it was a little bit of a pitcher's duel. And so Paulie said it on the broadcast, or maybe it was Coney, but they were like, in a game like this, you're just trying to do anything to tie it. Like, hey, let's tie this ball game, give ourselves a chance to not lose. Like, this, Manaea's clearly on. He's having a great year. His ERA in this game drops to 3.01. I'm a big Manaea guy. Admire my desire, Manaea. I don't know. Those words just sound similar. And they get to him. There's a little help with a balk call. Clint Frazier draws a nice walk, which was a really nice at-bat. He gets on to lead off the inning. He gets balked over to second. That, if you watch baseball and if something funky happens, like, that's just how games change. So Gary Sanchez, man, he has 2 of the Yankees' 3 hits in this game, and, man, it was Gary. It was to the right center, and he drove it, and it wasn't a crazy homer swing. It was beautiful. So, yeah, Jake's box score stat, where you get 3 strikes and you're out if you don't have, 3 good things in the box score. Mm-hmm. This is one of those games.
Okay.
DJ double, Gary double, and the Gary's RBI. Like, that's it. That's it in the box. So they really got owned today, but the fact they won it is also good, and persevere, and we're coming from behind and all that stuff.
And triple play, and really weird bullpen usage because I guess Britton's sore.
Yeah.
We didn't know. They said just spring training soreness.
Heavy arm.
And Chad Green they weren't going to use because he has been pitching a lot, and they said on top of that he's been getting up and getting hot in the pen and then not coming in a lot, which we had talked about that at the game. We're like, I guess they're going to bring Chad in here, but he's warmed up twice already. Like, he's,
yeah.
Well, also, I get it in the aftermath, but going Litke for the 8th there and keeping Clint Frazier in the game in the 8th. BBD had a pretty decent tweet about that made me laugh. Yeah. And then Clint drops a 95% pop-up to left field.
Wishes he dropped it.
Just didn't get it there?
Yeah.
Just jumped for it. Just another leaves his feet for no reason Clinton play, and it drops. Thank God it didn't hurt us, but
it could have.
Gotta catch.
It hurt. It didn't kill us.
Gotta catch those balls. That was almost like, no, they're tooth and nail, and we're going to lose this with Litke in a 1-run game in the 8th and Clint in a 1-run game in the 8th in left field. Like, this, you gotta know that's not the formula. But Litke actually, got some nice curveballs, buckled down after that.
Yeah, and I think the Yes crew kind of came at it from a bad angle. They were like, yeah, no, I think the Yankees analytics just likes this lane for Litke. And it's like, no, if Britton was available, he'd be in this. But good job for Litke again. I mean, I know we harped on him a lot earlier this season, and now he's just become a guy. It's almost a compliment to Litke when we don't talk about him. He's just a really good pitcher out of the bullpen for us this year. So good for him. Dialing it in. Johnny Laza with another nice appearance. Chris Gittens last game as a Yank for now. And yeah, I mean, Gardy, if they weren't trying to sneak in a full rest day, he would have come in that game to play defense.
Yeah, I also I like that Odor wasn't in the lineup and all that stuff, but it doesn't give me any, and Gardy, whatever, but it was just a lefty pitcher, so they just batted every righty. Yeah. So they're even saying, Clint gets to start. It's merit-based because he had a great game in Game 2. I wish that was true. It's not true. The main reason the lineup was because there was a lefty, and they like matchups over hot hand. So it was
Well, Clint also had a nice day the game before. So
I'm not taking away.
Put it in the pot.
You wish.
I think so.
I think he may have started over Andujar anyway.
If
Andujar's cooled down a little bit.
Over Andujar, but not over Gardner. If there was a righty pitching, Gardner would have been in center.
Yeah.
Clint may have started over Andujar. But I'm saying that Yankees still like the handedness more than the hot hand.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like there was a slight Clint reward, and look what they've done with Gary. They slid him up the lineup. I mean, Gary Sanchez hitting 3-hole. That's impactful.
I like that, but I'm saying that the Gittens one last game before he goes down, and
we've seen that before.
Yeah, but it was once I realized it was a lefty, so they didn't have to force feed us lefty hitters. Sure. I was like, because those guys shouldn't be force fed us just because there's a righty on the mound. What are they going to do with Voit back? That loses one of their lefties.
I mean, that's the thing. They've for the past 3 years they've said they don't care, so they don't care.
I know, it's so weird. They built a whole roster around not caring, but then they play some really bad hitters because then on a day-to-day basis they care.
Mike Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no answer to it. They value rest and that stuff, and that all ties into the equation. And well, if we are going to have a lefty, we might as well balance the lineup a little bit and make it tougher when their reliever comes out or for their starting pitcher. So, yeah, it's not a science. They'd probably tell us it is, but no.
No. All right. Good game. Yanks win. A's are a good team. So to win a series against them in that fashion where you're coming back and you're having big at-bats late and, like, they're grinding and getting timely hits because they only had 3. So that's pretty cool. Johnny L's was awesome. Anything else? Want to go to awards?
So I think we can.
Let's do it. Awards are brought to you by Magic Spoon. That's right. I'm going to go home. I'm so tired. I'm going to eat a ton of Magic Spoon cereal, have some cushy dreams, and then go have some full belly cushy dreams. Magic Spoon cereal. Wow.
What, Jim?
I'm reading the line that isn't supposed to be read out loud, but it's very nice. So it says that we're the best ever, and we should just tell them what we think about Magic Spoon cereal.
Okay.
It's guilt-free
Let's do
cereal,
that.
and it's really delicious, and we like it, and I'm a cereal enthusiast,
Yeesh.
so I'm really happy that I get to just eat as much cereal as I want now, and I can have a whole box and only feel like slightly bad because it's still probably more than someone should eat in a sitting, but it's not candy and sugar and terrible for me because it's got 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, only 140 calories a serving. Just like Jake, it's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free, and you can build your own bundle. And, it's like basically it's like a protein, healthy cereal that buy the cocoa and the fruity and try to figure out how you can have something that tastes like that without sugar in it, because I don't get it. Not the cocoa, the fruity, the frosted. I don't get how that doesn't have sugar in it.
Yeah.
It tastes so good. So go to magicspoon.com/Yanks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code Yanks at checkout to save $5 on your order. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. magicspoon.com/Yanks. The first award we give out on Talkin' Yanks is
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
I almost said it wrong. Almost, but I caught myself.
That was close.
And I get to go first because it's Sunday.
Couple good options.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rinse and repeat we got going on lately. There's a very obvious option that I want. There's a not as obvious but obvious option. And then there's a deep cut obvious option. There's 3 options. I'm going to go Gary. I mean, I think
It's a good one.
be incredibly dumb not
It's
to
a
go with
great
Gary. I know he's been getting a lot of prides lately, but he's been our hottest hitter.
Look at today's game.
That's what happens.
They had 3 hits today. Gary had 2 of them. Big moment. He had a home run in game 2. He didn't even play. Again, he only played 2.5 games of the 3-game set, and he had the biggest impact, it feels like, offensively. Some nice blocks with Litke as well today with the runner on third. There's, I think it was 1 or 2 that he smothered. So, yeah, man. I mean, he had a 500 on base percentage this series. He had 3 RBIs. He had timely hits.
Did you see his quote after today's game with the Chapman stuff? They got the triple play. I think Lindsay tweeted it that Gary said the game plan was strike out then double play, which made me laugh. 'Cause
Did you hear Boone's quote?
yeah, I think that's kind of always the plan.
Boone's quote
Boone's is
said,
good.
they were like, but they were asking about the fingernail being hurt, and Boone said, I just told him, like, all right, throw the sinker to get the 3 ball and let's have at it.
The turbo sinker, get the 3 ball.
Turbo sinker, get the 3 ball. It was pretty good.
It worked.
The coolest thing about today's hit was that in Game 3, you're like, well, the series is kind of like on the line here, right? There's 2 runs. They were losing. They weren't even tied. It was a go-ahead hit, but it was also the game-tying hit. And you're like, damn, like Gary's being so good. He doesn't need to come through here to have a good series. Like, he's done so much already. Only hit already. Home run yesterday. Like, it's kind of like, really pressure-packed. Like, you have to do it right now when he's the only one that had to hit it. Then he goes down 0-2 on back-to-back changeups. You're like, fuck. Then they gets the outside pitch, and he goes with it hard to right center. And every Yankee fan, us, broadcasters, and every fan has been like, it's real when he can shoot the ball to right center on a line. That's when you know Gary's actually using his full ability and skill set. Then 2018, we saw a lot of home runs, but we didn't really see that. So that the way he hit that also is like a nice moment.
We could do, maybe write it down for an off-season episode, but, Yankees players' best skill set that they don't know is their best skill set. Like we always talk about when Glaber reacts to off-speed stuff. Gary's power to that right center field, the Houston Astros playoff game highlight, when he cranks those out, that's what makes him super dangerous. And, man, Gary went from he's hot to he's having a good month to Gary Sanchez is having a good season now. Coming into today at a 121 OPS plus, so he was 20% better than your average hitter. Those numbers went up today. He's got an 820 OPS now on the season. For a catcher, that is all-star level. And I think what made me laugh is, Gary Sanchez has been in this hot streak. He's been so hot, blah, blah, blah. Gary Sanchez's career OPS, 820. He's hitting 237 batting average this year, career 236. So this Gary Sanchez, who's scorching hot, eerily in line with his career stats. But we all know the Gary story, so it's awesome to see, man. We've sat here on mic and off mic, and we all wondered. Baseball's a sick sport. You just don't know. We didn't know if Gary Sanchez was going to have another one of these in him. You just don't.
Yeah.
Baseball's a sick sport. It moves quick. And the fact that he's even given us this is awesome. And, I think when you make a roadmap for what the Yankees needed, and it was a list of 5 things that you think could happen, and, there's a list of 15 things you could pick from. Andujar, Clint figures it out, or Kluber, Sevy comes back healthy, or Luke Voit comes back and changes the offensive dynamic. Gary was one we you don't even think about, because you're just like, hey, I'm going to let nature take its course. Gary's back there. We love him. If it clicks, it clicks. If not, whatever. And right now it's clicking, and Gary Sanchez is back in the 3-hole, 28 years old. He's kind of putting the team on his back right now.
Yeah. 2
of the 3 hits today.
So he's my pride of the Yankees.
It's a great pick, Jim.
You know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate you saying that. I'm very interested to see the way that you go here.
Jim, you got to trust your heart on this, and you know how I do these. It's a lot of feel and, well, if this and then that. And it's someone that brings me pride, because it's the pride of the Yankees. Jimmy, my pride of the Yankees, and he would have been my first pick of the pride of the Yankees draft. Another JJR ad. I'm taking Nestor Cortez Jr. James, the Yankees come back down 4-1 to win game 2 of this 7-5. Nestor Cortez Jr., man, what he's done for this team. He comes in for Herman with runners on first and third, no outs. First and third, no outs in a 4-1 game. So if he gives up a bloop, if he gives up a sac fly and a single, it could be a 6-1 game. And that very much changes the dynamic of the rest of the game. Instead, he goes through Laureano, Chapman, and Murphy. Kind of built different. Strikeout, strikeout, fly out. And then he finishes with 3 shutty innings to keep the Yanks in this one. And, man, we've obviously had so much fun with Nestor. How could you not when he's on the bump with the different leg kicks and the release points and all of that? But you know what always speaks? Pitching well, man. And how about his last couple outings? 3 innings, shutout, 1 hit against Oakland. 3.2, 1 earned run against Philly in that 10-inning game that kept the Yankees in it. And before that, 2 innings, 4 Ks against the Red Sox. So, like, Nestor Cortez Jr., we've had a lot of conversations when we've talked about healthy Yankee bullpen and what does that look like. And we're like, well, if they have everyone healthy, they don't even have a long man sometimes. Nestor's been huge. Those have been some big innings, and it changes the course of this series. I mean, if we go down 2 games in this series and then Mania looks like he does today, you're in a dark place.
I was kind of shocked they kept him in there.
The Hialeah kid, man.
We were watching was he doing a lot of stop and start? I didn't see any tweets or gifs of like crazy ones.
I don't think he did anything particularly out there.
He talked about how he saw the lineup twice, so he had to really change it up like the second time through, like give a different look and all that stuff. But he got the belt, I believe, from the Yankees after the game.
He did get the belt. He might have meant that the way pitchers normally mean that this time.
I think he meant just like types of.
Like
What
pitch
does Nestor
selection
even
and
throw?
sequencing.
I know he throws a curveball, and he threw a 94-mile-per-hour fastball, but
I forget. I did this pretty drunk at the party last night. I went to Nestor Cortez Jr.'s Baseball Savant on my phone because I was like, he does sneak a couple like 93-mile-per-hour heaters in there. His average fastball is still sitting at 90. His curve, how they're labeling it, is at 78, and his slider's at 84, which is actually kind of a faster slider and curve than a lot of pitchers do throw. So, I don't know, man. He's got some funk. I think Nestor would be the first to admit it to you that, if hitters get a second time around on Nestor, I think they're licking their lips. But, man, and again, tying it into the story of this dude, like, he's 26 years old. So he's not going to impress you with a radar gun. But the fact he was in the show young, he was in the show at age 24. You can still learn and adapt and grow. I'm not saying Nestor Cortez is going to be a solution for a team's bullpen. But is this guy going to be getting a lot of major league outs over the coming years? And then, 7 years from now, he's going to light up the KBO and we're going to be like, oh, pretty jealous that they get to watch Nestor on the daily. Huge performance.
huge.
Yeah.
So Nestor gets pride. How many prides has Nestor Cortez gotten in the history of Talkin Yanks?
I can double check the history, but he's
guess
gotten them in
3.
2 of the last 3 series.
Guess 3.
3. I gave Nestor pride?
Against the Phillies.
Wow, look at you.
Dude, I don't remember that episode at all. That was the original Averex episode?
That was tough, man. That was a losses to Philly. We weren't playing Stan, who was our best hitter at the time. Like, it was just bad times, kind of.
Oh, they lost both games, so I gave it to Nestor.
Yeah.
He has 4 MFers,
Come
and
on.
I think either 2 or 3 prides.
Well, definitely 2 is an option.
He has 2 in the last week.
Yeah. Great job by Nestor. Hell of a job by Nestor. All right, let's move on to MFer.
You Yankee motherfucker.
You Yankee motherfucker.
And I have to go first, so I will, I will. And I am giving my Yankee MFer to, and I don't want to do it,
You can do it.
but it is what needs to be done. It's Gleyber Torres.
Woo-wee.
He's in a slide.
Sure is.
He's in a slide. I don't like it because the defense has been pretty good lately. He made a couple nice plays out the middle, I think, in the Philly series. And then in Toronto, he made a nice play to his right. He celebrates triple plays when he's not part of them so well.
The best.
He's really good at being a shortstop, celebrating a triple play when everyone else touches the ball and he doesn't. But he got one hit this series. He went 1 for 11. He went hitless in the Toronto series. So I don't know how bad, like how far back it goes, but obviously he hasn't had power this whole season. But without the power, he was just getting base hits at least, and now it's not there. If you go to the Philly, he had one hit in the 2 games in Philly. So that's when it started. Since then, it looks like he is 3 for 20, 3 for 30, I think. So not good, man. So I just need him to pick that up.
Yeah, it's noticeable. And again, he's still been a positive player this year because of his WAR. His OPS plus coming into today was a 90, which kind of surprises you, but you do forget that up until this part of the season, offense had been down all across baseball. But yeah, man, I mean, Gleyber's in there to mash. Gleyber's in there to mash potatoes. 24 homers his rookie year. In 123 games, 38 homers the next year in 2019. And yeah, it's a little bizarre. It's where's the beef,
Where's the beef?
Where's the pop?
Jake's favorite Wendy's commercial of all time.
Where's the juice,
Yeah, I know.
Because there's no solution.
Why am I not that worried?
I think it's because he'll always be a threat. Like if we play out this season and the light bulb never just goes off for Gleyber, as long as he's playing good defense and he's a threat, this Yankees team can get to the places they want to go with Gleyber Torres in that role.
Okay.
So I think that's why it's not as scary, but man, 6th percentile in average exit velo. Like, I don't know what that is, man. And I mean, 2018, 2019, he was just middle of the pack. Same with 2020. So just a little weird. Just a little weird.
Just a little weird. Who's your MFer?
Oof. My Yankee MFer. I'm between 2 guys, and there's no jokes to be made about that.
Never has been, never will.
Never has been, never will. I'll go with Domingo Germán.
Wow. And you mean it?
I'll go Domingo Germán. Yeah, we, Nestor comes in, saves him, so I've got a little balancing act there. My pride and my MFer. Man, and I guess I'm feeling some emotions from his previous start because Germán got rocked against the Phillies. 4.17 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts. This start is 4 innings, 4 earned runs. It's just bleh, 2 homers. And I guess why my brain is mentally packaging that together is because we were in such a good spot with Domingo Germán. Before those 2 starts, he had a 3.12 ERA. He had, figured it out. He had been lights out ever since he got sent down, and then he came back up. He had 9 starts to the tune of a 2.35 ERA. Domingo was kind of he's going to give us a good start and potentially save a bullpen on a given day. And now we're kind of back to not square one, but what's going on, Mingo? 66 pitches. And this is a guy that he was out of baseball, so you wonder when's arm fatigue stuff going to start happening. So something to watch. We'll see. But
yeah, I haven't I haven't poured into that because we were there, so I don't know. It's so hard to see pitching when you're at the game. What was getting hit? What could he find the zone with? What couldn't he find the zone with? We were at the game, and then we went to my brother's party, so I haven't seen or looked into it at all. So I guess let me know.
Okay.
Was he missing spots? Was
Tweet
his
at
breaking
JOMBOY.
pitches flat? Do you know, BBD?
I don't know the answer to that, but I know the stat going around that we tweeted about, that I showed it on the broadcast, was like just at Yankee Stadium, he's given up a lot of homers, which adds up. So the homers haven't been a problem on the road. He's been the best pitcher at not giving up homers on the road, worst at home.
Okay.
So I don't know if that holds up with the rest of his numbers, and he's just getting porched all the time here.
Okay. Interesting. Interested. Oh, man, oh, man. All right. Regular awards. My first award, no, is the Mix-Up
Ooh.
Award.
To the what?
It's Cambodian word. No English translation.
Mix-Up.
The Mix-Up Award. Any guesses?
I am going to guess Gio Urshela.
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
It was a blind guess. I have no idea.
Because you don't know
I
Cambodian.
have one award I really want to give to a dude, so I'm just rooting it's not that guy right now.
This one goes to Jordan Montgomery.
Okay.
Jordan Montgomery pitch mix today, and he pitched a good game. Was the number one pitch was his changeup. He threw 26 changeups. His second most pitch was his curveball. Then sometimes Baseball Savant messes these up, but they have his four-seam fastball as his third most pitch, cutter as fourth, and sinker as his least. And he's usually sinker heavy. Now, going back all of Jordan Montgomery's game logs, he kind of goes with whatever's working. So, and if nothing's working, he goes with the sinker, and those are usually kind of the tougher starts. Like the start before this, he was sinker heavy. Changeup was his second pitch. Didn't throw a lot of curveballs. He mixes it up like crazy. You wish you could, and he has so many pitches, but none of them are like plus. So it's kind of, if two are working, he's going to use those. You just hope that what works. This is only the second time this season, from my quick research, where the changeup was his most used pitch, or third time. But it's one of the only times where the sinker wasn't in the top three. And he had a really good game. And the changeup had a 61% swing and miss rate today. So he knew that was going on. And then the curveball also had a 33% strike rate. So that's pretty good. The changeup was 46 when you call into non-swing, called strikes plus whiffs.
Sure.
I wish he could just find consistency with all that stuff more. In his last 6 starts, he's got a 3.16 ERA now, and that includes kind of a stinker against Toronto where he gave up 4 earned runs. But yeah, it's not that bad of a stretch, as bad as it kind of you would think it is. I don't know what his ERA on the season is. It's closer to getting below 4. If he has one more good start, he'll get it below 4, and it's going to come against the Red Sox. And then I'm interested to see what makes up his pitch mix, because I think it's whatever feels good. He just kind of says, let's lean into that. But I wonder if there is analytics behind it. Like they were like, hey, this A's team, the changeup's probably going to be your best pitch. They know that beforehand, or after the first inning or after the bullpen, they're like, hey, that's coming out of your hand best. Let's go with that. So the mix-up, he mixes it up a lot. You look at Cole, you look at a lot of these guys, these game-to-game pitch mixes, it's very similar. Monty's is always different.
Yeah, I might have something that could help you out, Jim.
Yeah, let me know.
And this comes from David Cohn, a gentleman who's forgot more about pitching than I'll ever know.
Wow. Jake's
always a good line. Always a good line. He laid it out about Monty. It was the start before this that he said, and it kind of described Monty perfectly for me, because I'd never been able to find the words for it. He said that Jordan Montgomery is reliable on all of his pitches. So when you see Monty have a bad day and it's not happening early, it's because he's looking. He's searching for those pitches. and he needs that to be successful. So when Monty is on and he's got all of it, that's why it looks good. That's when that dominant Monty comes out and looks nasty. And that's also why Monty has those bad days that has us going, come on, Monty, really? Today? So that's something to watch out for. And it kind of opened my eyes about it that, you know, there's, when you mention Cole or if you Sevy, like, if they've got 1.5 of their pitches, it doesn't fully change their approach. You know, they're going to lean on the fastball or they'll go to their wipeout out pitch. Like, Monty needs the mix. So that's where sometimes, and first innings can be really hard for him because the first inning is hard for any starting pitcher. You're finding your landing area, you're finding all of that. So when Monty's searching for that while searching for, you know, 4 pitches, that can make it a slightly more difficult task than your normal starting pitcher. But when he does have it, that's when Monty looks good. So that's via David Cohn, and probably left out some details.
Maybe. Yeah, so recently, this game, it was changeup heavy, curveball number 2. All right, if you go back to his next, like, really good game against the Rays, which was 6.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, that was four-seam fastball and sinker. His 2 fastballs were the 1 and 2. So completely different 1 and 2 most used pitches. Go back to his best start before then, the White Sox game, when he went 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. That game was curveball, four-seam fastball was his most used. And then if you go back one past that to the other 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run against the Rays again, that was four-seam fastball and changeup. So it's like he's got 4 pitches. It takes an inning to figure out, an inning or 2 innings to figure out which one's working, and hopefully in that figuring out process he doesn't get rocked on the ones that aren't working. But that's kind of nuts. That none of it's not like you can look at his 5 good starts and be like, oh, there's correlation
That's the
here.
commonality.
The changeup, when the changeup's working, he's good. It's like, no, it's always a mix-up. So that's the mix-up award, which is Cambodian, no direct translation. Your first award.
Jim, I'm giving out the Lucky Number 11 award, one of your favorite films.
I am a big Lucky Number 11 fan.
I know.
Yeah.
You like the videography work in it. The cameras and the shots.
It's fast. It's almost like Gilmore Girls speed of dialogue. Got a tall knock. It's a funny quote. Lucy Liu's delightful in it.
Ooh, love some Lucy Liu.
Oh, there's also a really good quote from there where it says, hello, how about them Yanks? Is that your award?
You haven't kind of guessed anything.
Gio Urshela for triple plays. Hello, how about them Yanks?
All completely wrong.
Wow.
All completely wrong. Sometimes I go deep. Often I do not. Jim, we're talking about some Yankees pitchers, right?
Yeah.
You know, we talked Monty, we talked Herman. There is a Yankees pitcher who is second on the team in wins. He got win number 7 this series. Johnny Loizaga. I saw that in the box score, and I did a little. I was kind of like, I was looking, and I was like, wait, is that an error? I know Johnny Loizaga has been getting some all-star buzz lately, and I keep saying I haven't actually researched other relievers to see if Johnny Loizaga should be in play for that. Johnny Loizaga is having a bang-up year to the point that there's borderline all-star buzz, and I can't tell if it's just Yankee fans being Yankee fans or if he deserves to be in an all-star bullpen. He improves to 7-2 on the year, and his ERA drops to, let me get the right number, 1.63. And we've talked about the multi-inning stuff. He's tied for the major league lead with most inning-plus appearances. That's how you rack up 7 wins, especially on these come-behind Yankees. Like, if these come-behind Yanks stand, we could see a 12-win Johnny Lasagna by the end of the year.
That would be wild. How many wins does Chapman have?
Chappie. Aroldis Chapman has 4 wins.
How many does Tyone have?
Your Yankees wins leaders.
Yes, thank you.
Garrett Cole with 8.
Cool.
Huge.
Cool.
Johnny Laza with 7.
Hey-oh.
Tied with 4, Herman, Kluber, and Chapman. The game is a little different, huh?
How many wins does Tyone have?
1.
How many does Montgomery have?
3. Mike King with 0 wins.
I know wins don't matter for this very reason. It's just funny.
Right. The game has evolved, but yeah, if Johnny Laza continues at this pace, Yankees get a couple more come from behind wins, there's going to be a point where it's like, Johnny Lasagna has a 13-win season, and everyone's like, that's bizarre brand of baseball.
He's the first reliever to rack up this many wins since Aaron Small.
No Yankee reliever's gotten this many wins since Lefty Grove traded for his brother Righty Knowles.
Stupid.
That's stupid humor.
That was dumb. How about the factoid that Kay dropped on the broadcast today that when Aaron Boone made his debut, it's like the 20th anniversary of that or something like that? Congrats. Did you hear this, or were you listening to Sterling probably?
Well, Susan said the same story.
So they must have been handed
tell.
it.
I think Boone talked about it.
His brother was the player that got sent down to the minors, and he replaced his brother.
It's tough, man.
Like, did he have a moment where they're like, Aaron, you're going up to the big leagues, and he was so excited, and he was like, I gotta call my brother and let him know, and they're like, well, you gotta hold off. I'm gonna be teammates with my brother in the big leagues. Oh my God, this is a dream come true for my parents. Both of us on the same team, and they're like, no, actually, well, to make room for you, your brother's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, Susan told part of the story. I think he was sent down like within the week because she said they played like a game in AAA together. Then Aaron Boone got sent up. So I don't know who's wrong there. I don't know who. Might have been effectively sent down.
Them Yanks? Hello, how about them Yanks?
Lucky number, Slavin.
What is your final award for this
What
episode?
is your final
award?
Okay.
Hey.
I've been trying to pet your dog. Ho, I've been reading puppy blogs.
My final award is the I'm trying to Gateway to the Soul award.
The Gateway to the Soul award.
Mm-hmm.
How are you spelling soul?
SOUL.
Okay.
Yep. This is a great award. It's the Gateway to the Soul
Didn't know
award.
if we're talking fish.
No, not talking fish. Gateway to the Soul award.
Let's go Aaron Judge.
Wrong. Couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah. BBD thinks he has it.
Geo.
Yeah. Why? How come you didn't have it?
Yeah. I'm trying to rack up assists over here, kid.
Gio Urshela.
Most happy fella.
Yeah. Almost got his eyes taken away from him. They said he went underneath and there was a 2-inch long piece of wood poking out of his eye that they needed 2 men to pull out. And the eyes are the gateways to the soul, Jake.
Averex.
So, Gio Urshela, scary moment. Also, terrible showing from Yankees fans in that moment because the the tweets and replies to it were some of the most scumbaggy responses ever. A lot of people saying, he didn't hurt his legs, why didn't you run? It's like, Jesus Christ. He's got a piece of wood in his face. Bat exploded in his eye.
Not that it would be allowed for another guy to say that, because, again, wood is in his eye. But, like, Gio's also not a guy that, like, hustle's been a question.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. He's hurt. I'm glad his eyes are okay. Really glad.
Well, and also Gio's pretty good at turning up the limp when he needs to.
He is.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
He's got a good limp monitor.
Gio had a couple hits this series, and then he turns to triple play.
Yeah.
And he's just so quick with his decision-making. Like, I appreciate that, and we were talking about that in the car ride a little bit on pitchers, like in how Maddox, there's a really good story that Rich Hill tells on the Chris Rose rotation about Maddox teaching him, like, a formula for you throw to second, this, you throw to first, this. I'm not going to give it away because I want you to go listen, but it's really cool. Even the double play that got overturned,
right,
which left the Yankees in a little bit of a bind in Game 3, which left them first and third with when Johnny Lasagna was pitching with 2 outs. Even that, Gio could have went and got the lead runner at third and guaranteed the first out, but he very quickly
made a move.
Made a move for double play, didn't hesitate, didn't think, and you rarely see him, his wheels churning. If the ball comes his way, he knows what he wants to do with it. Either he's going to step on third, or he's going to go to second for the double play, or he's just going to go to first. You know, there's never that pump fake or that, okay, which I appreciate because I think that means that he's going through all the situations in his head. And a situation in his head is, hey, if it comes right to me, I'm going to step on third and start this triple play, even though that's so unlikely. And now he's got to do it twice. He's just quick with it.
He's awesome, man. Beautiful.
Yeah. He had 2 RBIs, 3 hits.
Big homer to take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, phew.
Yep.
Love me some Gio, man. Really do.
Me too.
Delightful guy.
Well, kind eyes.
Kind everything, kind of.
And their guys are the gateway to the soul.
Guys are the gateway to Jim's soul. Good award. I think I'm gonna give out the Home Depot trip award, Jim.
The Home Depot trip?
Home Depot trip.
I'm more of a Lowe's gal.
That's fine.
They're too.
I go both ways.
I can't tell the difference, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just go to whatever one is closest.
Lowe's is blue.
I just stand up tall and hope nobody talks to me.
I do know that Lowe's is blue and Home Depot is orange.
Ad.
Yeah, I do know that.
Not a promotion.
The Home Depot award.
Yeah.
Home Depot trip award.
I think maybe because there's lumber at Home Depot, and Stanton's lumbering around the base paths.
You look good.
So Stanton is my guess.
Jim, we're going to Home Depot.
Sure. Together?
And we're bringing someone with us.
Okay, who?
And we're going to take them to the
movie short.
granite aisle. I don't know. I'm not handy.
Don't say granite in this room.
Okay. And, they're going to have like a little back patio set up, a little mock back patio, and some different options of things you can lay out.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you know what we really need from you?
Mm-hmm.
We need to be giving you this in a couple episodes. We brought Jameson Taillon to Home Depot, and we're showing him you can have a stepping stone. We would love for you to have a stepping stone.
Oh, okay.
But we can't give you one.
Yeah.
4.2 to earn, that ain't it. You bounce back from your disaster start. There's still some funny business you can do with his home and road numbers if you really want to go there. Let's see. At home, 3.29 ERA, 11.12 on the road. JMO, we need you, buddy. I just going through those pitchers' wins lists and doing all of that. And hey, this isn't a stepping stone, and Jameson Taillon, big listener and fan of the pod, he knows this start doesn't deserve a stepping stone. But, man, we got to get to one at some point. Like, if you're going to be taking the pill every 5th day, which you are, we can't be satisfied with the 4.2 and 2 earned runs.
So what you're doing is you're just like letting him know that like you stepping stones exist.
You will.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah.
It's an option for
So
you.
this isn't a stepping stone award.
No.
Were you listening at all?
I'm just confirming for people that might not have been listening
Everyone was listening. It's a podcast.
because people might refer to this as, that time Jake was telling him about stepping stones, which then
No.
gets tricky.
It's kind of like what we're doing is, you take your kid to the bicycle store and you're like, if you get all A's this semester,
That bike will be yours.
you get that bike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, JMO, you give me a 6-inning 1 earned run, we might get a little stepping stone for you. And he's
Yeah.
like, why are you being so shaky and weird?
I think
I'm like,
that's
it's a
not
disease
that's
that's
not
not diagnosed
That's
yet,
not the
Jameson.
greatest analogy, only because like the bike is cool, and like a stepping stone isn't. Getting the bike
Are you
is
kidding me?
getting the bike is the
How
end
many
game.
pictures did you take this weekend that you were stepping on a stone?
No.
The defense asked one question.
Are you counting pebbles as stones?
Yeah, then it really ups
Yeah.
the number.
What I'm saying is the bicycle's
Stepping stones are cool.
the bicycle's the end game.
Dude, when you see stepping stones laid out,
And
we've done this before.
basically-
Stepping stones are cool.
Basically, what you're saying is, hey, like your kid's not going to school at all. And you're like, if you get all A's, you can get that bike, but you have to go to school first. Because you have to start earlier.
Right.
Because you don't.
A stepping stone is a proud thing. It's one of our most proud awards on the show.
But you have to be in a bad spot to get it. So you don't want to. You don't want to be in this
Jim,
area
tell
to
me
get.
the quote that you say about every baby.
Oh, well, I mostly just specifically about you. You were born covered in shit, blood, and illiterate. And look at you now.
Everyone's got to come from somewhere.
Everyone's got a beginning.
Everyone needs to get a stepping stone if you want to get stepping.
Yeah, but like,
Jamer wants to get stepping.
Judge never wants a stepping stone because he never wants to be in such a dark place that he needs
He's
a
already
stepping stone.
stepped. He's
Yeah,
already stepped
okay.
on his stone. He's got it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, going into the year, you don't tell yourself I want to get a stepping stone this year. But
No.
you get to a position
Unless
you
you're a
get
young
into.
player. If you're a young player,
Yeah.
can't see.
It's Jake and I bought the darkest sunglasses
I
ever.
broke mine.
Have you tried these on, BBD? They're
no.
purple tint, and when you're
I
inside,
can see a little purple. In
you
yours
just
right
can't
now.
see a thing.
Don't break them.
There's a lot of lights in here, so you're still gonna be able to see a little bit, but they're so dark.
Oh yeah, I could see how that could turn into a zero
Yes.
vision.
Like, we were like, oh, we'll wear these at the Yankees game. And then it was like, oh, can't see.
Can't see. Yeah.
Can't see.
It's true. All right, good stepping stone award for JMO. Not that he's getting a stepping stone award, but
No.
he's finding out that they exist.
They're there, baby.
Yeah, he didn't even know it was an option.
He's in the market.
Yeah. Jim, let's lay out some of the stuff. Well, actually, we got to check a couple boxes. Clint, some good at bats. Misses another fly ball. This is why we're scared about him come a Yankees postseason run, if we can talk about that. 95% catch probability. Need that.
And also that one, like with the eye test, you're like, well, that's a classic left hand touches
That's-
the wall or a right hand touches the wall and you just catch it.
If somebody came at me because of that tweet we mentioned before, and he said, "Oh, he's not that bad." It's like, I mean, that's one of the ones you don't need to look at analytics to know that was an awful
It
one.
was a bad one.
That one, the eye test matches. I mean, I think it always matches, but some people get tricked by the diving and fun.
That was a bad one. And yeah, at the same time, it's like Clint was arguably top 3 hitter this series for us, which that's kind of bizarre, but yeah, his his leadoff walk was good. The doubles were big, so we'll see what goes on with him and Andujar, as Andujar's kind of coming back to earth a little bit. So that's still a storyline. Gary's the best ever. DJ, we're constantly waiting for the spark.
No, DJ had some hits.
I mean, man, I can't get happy over a 3 for 13 series for DJ. You know, he showed a little pop, but I need
his. I'd be interested in a sharp stats on him soon.
Yeah,
if Katie's listening, because his Savant page is starting to look much closer to what the last 2 years were.
But
not the same. But
hits,
those were
so the
crazy
only
years.
thing that I'll somewhat disagree with is that both hits netted 2 runs. Like they
were important.
They were important hits where he came through. The first one in game 1, the Yankees were off to a bad start. They were down 2-0 in the third, and it's like if you don't get runs early, you're just done. And that would have helped them. I mean, it tied it up there and allows Rugi to hit the go ahead. And then in the next one, they just take the lead. It's 5-4 then, and DJ comes up with 2 on, and it's like a weird swing that he was just barreling up and scores 2. So I understand the amount of hits is still not what we want out of DJ, but I do appreciate that his hits mattered.
That's all fair. What I'm saying is, like, how many series over the past couple years did we walk? Like, at this segment of the show, we'd be like, oh, DJ was 7 for 14, and we mentioned him once.
It's a different guy from last year. It's a different guy.
The expectations have totally changed, and I get that. I mean, don't get me started on expectations. I said, Bob, he's good at baseball. I said, he's good at baseball. I hope it starts coming.
Okay.
I hope it starts coming.
Plenty of time in the season for it to still be a nice year.
Now let's update people on the math situation.
People are also probably shocked Wandy Peralta didn't get the MFer. I mean, if anything, he kind of shouldn't have been there, so that's kind of on the coaches more than
He should
him.
also get...
He hasn't been that good lately, right?
Yeah, he should also get Tony Kemp out, so like it is on him.
Yeah.
But the coaches should know that. Kind of like Clint shouldn't be in a close game in the 8th in left field.
Playing defense,
Like, at some point, it's just going to be on the coaches. Like, you can't have him out there.
Yeah.
He's dropped more 95% catches than any other player in baseball. Like, you just can't have that out there in a one-run game. Yeah. There's something I was going to do.
You were going to do the standings update.
Yeah, thank you to Mashup Math on Twitter, who's keeping track of the standings updates. Now, we said a while ago when they were really bad that the Yankees had 25 games, which was up until the July 11th mark for the All-Star game. Reminder, the draft is July 11th. I'll probably repeat this every episode because some people are hearing it for the first time. The MLB draft is like on July 11th, I believe. And you can't draft players from the year before. You can't trade players that you drafted from the year before until this draft has concluded. So a lot of the big trades, that a lot of moving parts happen after the draft. So from
Just
that,
less funny business.
Yeah,
Like
so-
you can trade guys as players to be named later, and it can be that guy.
It's still
but-
guys that GMs are hot on. Like, it's the guys they scouted the year before, and they didn't get on the draft. It just opens up more options.
yes. So that window, July 11th till July 31st, is like the real trade area. So the Yankees need to be buyers at that time, which they had a lot of work to do. I wanted them to go 17-8 in the 25 games. Jake wanted them to go 16-9. So at this point, Jake needs them to go to 11-8. I need them to go 12-7. But I may be changing my ask, BBD, because the last series is against Houston, and I don't want those 3 games in Houston to come into play at all. I want them to have been locked in as buyers before that series happens.
We're locked in as buyers.
So you don't want that to change to have a potential impact on the deadline.
Yeah. So I need them to win every series, but I'm going to allow them to lose 1 series. It's perfect math. No sweeps,
Win every series.
but they got to win every series besides 1. I don't care which one they lose,
It's baseball.
but that's how they have to play the rest of the way into the All-Star
Preferably
break.
not the next one. So
Not the next one.
Because then you got to win all of them.
With the Royals coming to the stadium after an off day, so the bullpen's rested, and Cole is pitching game 1.
You got to
It'd
take
be-
care of
it'd
that
be
series.
Pretty upsetting if they lose this Royals series because you're set up to win it out the gate, kind of.
But something we did stumble into after the Royals is the Red Sox. So with Luke Voit coming off the IL, what is probably going to be happening? He's probably going to play the first 2 games, sit the 3rd game against the Royals, and have him full tilt ready to go for the Red Sox. We've seen them do that. So you could also expect, they're going to want Gary full tilt for that. So does that mean Gary gets a DH day? Does that mean Gary sits a day? Is going to sit the Cole game? Interested to see what goes on with that.
Stan probably gets a day he's played like 5 in a
So
row
yeah,
now.
there could be some funny business this series with the Royals. So that'll be a little touch and go. But they're going to be trying to build up for a big Red Sox set. And hey, we run hot on this show. We're fans of the team. We're fans of the New York Yankees. And hey, where we were a week ago, I think I heard the number was the Yankees were 9 games back of the AL East lead coming into this week. They are now 4.5 back. The Rays lost their best starting pitcher. Their juice has started to slow down. They got beat up by the Mariners. The Red Sox haven't been as hot as they were to start the year, and we've got so many games coming up against them. So we're starting to see light at the tunnel. We just got to continue to play a good brand of baseball.
The Rays may be about to lose another game there. The Mariners have the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th right now.
Holy Toledo.
2-2.
So, yeah, man, it's hey, it's June. We said they kind of had to start going. It looks like they're going. Momentum is a real thing. Let's beat up the Royals. Let's feel good headed into Boston so we could see the standings can change a lot in a week.
They got to
go.
win. They're not really hitting.
Win
But they got to
games.
win.
Oh yeah, this is a classic. A lot of stuff did get covered up this series, but
Yeah.
it's a nice series win against a good team. That's the win.
Yep. And just hope that in Boston it is Voit, DJ, Glaber, Gio in the infield. All 3 games. So if they win the first 2 against the Royals, then you might see a weird lineup game 3.
Way.
So they can guarantee all 3 games in Boston are that. And then the outfield in Boston will be interesting. We were talking about that. I mean, it's a little ways out, but big right field. So I think you're going to have Judge in right field all 3 games. I think I think you are.
I think
It made me really realize they needed a center fielder.
he could do a center field start one day, but they will be moving him to right.
I don't think you can play Clinton in that right field.
They
Maybe you can. Maybe you can. They may.
You don't want to do it for a full game.
But you start really thinking about it, you're like, man, go get a center fielder, guys.
Yeah.
Judge made a nice play in center field today.
Yeah.
That's a nice play.
Okay, that's the show. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We appreciate you and we love you dearly.
Just the one note about the draft. Typically, the draft's a little earlier, so that date. Normally by now, technically all
Sorry,
trades are on the
passed.
table. I mean, trades don't usually
Yeah.
happen until July anyway, but
Yeah, in Cashman's press conference, he
mentioning,
started saying that. He was like, well, on June, it's like, well,
it's July
April
this
and May
year.
are pretty slow. Not a lot of people are motivated to move, and then he went on. So, yeah. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Oh, Yankees.
Boston plays Tampa before us, so one of those teams will be getting closer in theory. The season's afoot.